Good morning and welcome to the Morning Blend Extra. Today is Friday, April 25th. I'm Jake Pearson. Coming up on today's show, we have breakfast-themed artwork. We've got a new flavor of Oreo, and to me, sounds pretty tasty. We're going to take a look at some spring cleaning and ways to stay on top of your finances. But first things first, let's take a look at the weather forecast. Out there right now, 61 degrees, 6-mile-per-hour wind flowing out of the north-northwest there. And then if we really take a look at the temperatures across the state line, beautiful day yesterday. We're going to be cooling things off here as we enter our Friday. So take a look off to the west there, 48 in Galena, 51 up there in Monroe, but take a look a little bit closer to the Rockford metro area, 61. It's going to be a little bit warmer here as we continue on throughout the afternoon. Moving into the weekend here, again, it is going to be raining just a tad here as we enter the afternoon and evening hours, but we're going to be reaching a high of 60 degrees. And then Saturday and Sunday, we're going to have a little bit more of that sunshine returning. High of 62 on Saturday and a high of 66 there on Sunday. Monday, take a look at those temperatures, 82 degrees. We do want to first alert you to the possibility of some storms there, but man, oh man, that is just going to be a gorgeous day there, 82. And then you can see that significant cool down once again as we enter Tuesday, 72 for a high. And again, we also want to first alert you to the temperatures on that as well, or excuse me, to the storms on there as well. And then as we enter Wednesday and Thursday, high of 66 on Wednesday, and take a look at that. A high of 68 on Thursday, which is also the first day of May. Kind of a little ironic there that we've got an 82-degree day, and then later on, the first day of May is going to be 68. Some live pictures outside on our primetime audio video East State Street cam, where you can see some of those clouds starting to roll in a little bit there. All right, now turning on to some of our top stories here today. Talk about thinking outside the box. A Texas woman uses empty cereal containers to create pictures and portraits. Reporter Brisida Olgene has that story.
It all started with a bowl of cereal. That's how artist Jenny Grumbles got the brilliant idea to do her cereal series.
My son and I eat a lot of cereal, and every time I see the boxes, I just think about their colors and the marketing on them, and I don't know what exact moment it clicked, but I was like, that needs to be my palette.
She has friends and neighbors for their cereal boxes, and when she had enough, she created her first piece.
Tried it out, it worked, so here I am making cereal art now. One of the most amazing parts of the cereal series is that I'm fully recycling trash to treasure.
Jenny says she's decided to only do portraits of people she loves.
Draco Mar is Frosted Mini Beats, and then Luka Charms is Luka Doncic. I spent all this time, blood, sweat, tears, never in a million years thinking that he was going to be traded.
Right now, 4 of Jenny's cereal box portraits are being displayed at Galleria Dallas. Jenny says creating each piece is truly a labor of love.
Painting takes way less time than this. This takes about 10 times as long as painting. If I want a certain color with cereal, I have to be like, okay, let's go find that exact shade of pink.
And even though it can be challenging, Jenny hopes her sustainable art inspires people.
Super cute story there. I'm really curious to see kind of where her career goes and some of the different pieces of art that she ends up making. Now, have you ever wanted to try having a dog around for just a couple days? Well, an organization in Alaska called Tails on Trails offers just that. Volunteers can take a dog home for 48 hours. The program does have many benefits. It gives dogs a break from the shelter, and it gives them more exposure to potential adopters when people take them out and about. And of course, the temporary caregivers may fall in love with their furry friends and decide to adopt them permanently.
Where they can go for hikes, they can go walk on the beach, or even some of our lazier dogs, they can just go spend a night watching a movie with some family. It just makes their life so much better while they're here, helps socialize them, and honestly, it just gets them even more advertising for potential adopters.
Super adorable. That is definitely something that I hope that they start here in the state of Illinois or southern Wisconsin. That's definitely something I'd be interested in trying out. Oreo is preparing to unveil a new cookie flavor, but it might not go well dipped in a glass of milk. Chocolate-covered pretzel Oreos will debut on May 5th. These cookies have a chocolate cream placed between a pair of pretzel-flavored cookies that are topped with salt. Oreo officials are calling these limited edition treats the brand's, quote, first ever sweet and savory cookie. Other recent additions to the Oreo lineup include Irish cream thins, mini bars, and loaded cookies. Man, I think that this is a good one. I don't know if it'll go well in a glass of milk. I'm willing to be a guinea pig, though. If Oreo wants to send some over to the station, I'm willing to give it a shot. Coming up here later in the show, spring cleaning is not just for your home, it's also a fantastic time to refresh your financial health. Take time to dust off your budget as we come back with Klaas Financial after the break.
From the future, from the hard-hitting action of your Rockford Ice Hawks.
Shot on it, Slaggert scores! Takes it down to the goal line, draped it across, they score! It's Joey Anderson with a hat trick.
Local baseball action with your Beloit Skycar.
He's at the wall, and that ball is gone!
To watching the best high school teams across Illinois battle in IHSA football and basketball championships. Exciting college basketball from the MVC. To the now of the Chicago Blackhawks.
Score! Here's Bernard with a shot, scores! What a goal!
The Chicago Bulls.
Drives it all the way. Dunk it, Kobe White. Get up or get out the way.
And the Chicago White Sox. The hottest sports action can be seen on the channels of WSLN, the State Line's home for sports.
Spring in the State Line means severe weather season is here.
A powerhouse storm system.
But you're safe because you watched First Alert Weather, and you get the first alert with forecast for where you live. WIFR First Alert Weather, putting you first.
At Gray Digital Media, we craft engaging campaigns that grab attention and get results. Extending your message across all platforms. Gray Digital Media. We know local. GDMRockford.com.
At WIFR, local news is all about you. News in your neighborhood. Your first alerts to severe weather. Hometown sports. You're informed from people you trust, right here in your community, and not somewhere else. A team that's invested in your hometown as much as you are. Wherever and however you're watching, WIFR, your community, your news.
Welcome back to the Morning Blend Extra. Joining us now is Kyle Kite with Klaas Financial. Kyle, thank you so much for coming on to the show.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously this time of year, we're kind of talking a little bit about spring cleaning, but obviously that's never a bad idea to even do with your finances. So starting things off here, what are kind of some things that people should freshen up on each year regarding their finances?
Yeah, well, the first thing obviously is a lot of people either get raises at the beginning of the year or maybe you've changed jobs recently or something like that. So definitely you want to make sure that you're fully aware of what's coming in and what's going out. When we talk about budgeting and that kind of stuff is always a big thing to be aware of course. And it's a good time of year to maybe make some adjustments to your 401k allocations or something like that. People just got done with tax season. Maybe you need to adjust your tax withholding on your paycheck. Those types of things are something that you should check out.
Yeah, absolutely. Is that something that you kind of like to recommend? Because I know, obviously, like you mentioned, now is kind of the time where people are kind of taking a look at their taxes, banking stuff, things along those lines. Do you think now is the best time, or is there really any time that anybody can sign up?
Yeah, really, it's top of mind right now, so that's why most people do it now. But it is something that you should always be aware of. I know I personally do it towards the end of the year, first part of the beginning of the year, but if you haven't gotten around to it with the holidays and all that kind of stuff, it's never a bad time to make sure you understand what's going on in your financial picture.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely busy, and of course, people are distracted by the beautiful weather we've been having here lately.
Yep.
But then, of course, what are some ways that people can stay on top of their cash flow as well?
Yeah, I kind of mentioned this before, but you really need to have a budget. I know it's a bad word. People don't like that word sometimes, but it is very, very important. You have to know what's going in versus what's going out, so that way you can understand where your dollars are going and what you should be doing with those types of things. And it's also a good time of year. We're all very, we're all aware that maybe we've got a few more subscriptions than we should have and that kind of stuff. So those are perfect little things just to pick one or two a week. It's never fun, getting on the phone and calling and canceling or dealing with your DirecTV or Comcast or whoever. But this is a good time of year to kind of reevaluate those things. And you might free up a few bucks each month doing something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, just kind of, could you give us some quick little bullet points, when people are thinking, hey, maybe I should be taking a look at my budget, or hey, maybe I need to start a budget. What are maybe those first 3 steps people should be looking at or thinking about?
Yeah, it's important important to know, obviously, what your net pay is, because so many people get focused on, okay, this is my salary or this is my hourly rate, but you got to remember you're paying into Social Security, you're paying into your 401k, those types of things. So it really is what hits your bank account, and that's what you should base your budget off of. And it's important, there's some rules of thumb out there. For instance, houses shouldn't be more than 25% of your net take-home pay. Keep car payments to a minimum. Obviously, they're a necessary evil in this area, probably getting to work and all that kind of stuff. So you got to have a reliable car, but don't go overboard with a big car payment and those types of things.
Yes, absolutely. So. I know that one. I've fallen for that pitfall once or twice. And then, obviously, once people do kind of refresh on those cash flows, how can they really organize that financial situation that they're in?
Yeah, it's very, very important, like I said, to just know, because again, maybe you switch jobs or something like that. You've got old 401ks out there. You've got old bank accounts that you opened up 10 years ago that's just kind of sitting there. So you really want to consolidate that kind of stuff to save time, that when you're looking at this stuff, it's not, an all-day project. It should just take you a little bit of time here and there to make sure everything's where it should be.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, I'm sure everyone kind of at home who's watching is been hearing you throw around 401k.
Yep.
And I know that that's something that's kind of top of mind right now as well. So what kind of about looking into retirement? What should people be thinking about?
Yeah, it's very, very important to start planning for retirement sooner rather than later. We've had the situations where people come to us 6 months out. I had one guy come to me, I'm retiring on Friday. It's like, well, I hope you did what you were supposed to, because we don't have a lot of time to make adjustments now. So the earlier you can start saving for a 401k, that gives your money more time to grow, which, that's the eighth wonder of the world, they call it, right?
Yeah.
Compound interest. So if you've got time, that's going to, really, really help you. But it is also just maybe making those adjustments every year, like I mentioned before. You got a raise, maybe you should put an extra 1 or 2% in there, kind of lines up with your raise, so then your take-home pay doesn't really change, but you're automatically trying to, save more for retirement.
Yeah, absolutely. And then kind of like you mentioned, there isn't necessarily a specific time when to start. It's kind of just, starting, getting that foot forward, and then kind of, is that something you have to readjust kind of over time? You should definitely take a look at it. Obviously, the old saying is the best time to start was yesterday. The second best time is today, right? So it doesn't matter. You probably should start saving, very, very quickly as soon as you can, obviously. But it is something that you want to monitor, because, you have to keep, obviously, your contribution percentages that we just talked about, but also your investments can drift over time and things like that. It's not a thing that you just want to set it and never look at it again. At least annually, you want to take a look and make sure it still makes sense and aligns with your goals of what you're trying to accomplish, obviously. Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, something else I got to mention, these little piggy banks are just super cute. I'm not sure if you guys can see them here. Holy cow, take a look at these little guys. Yeah. I just love these little glasses on here with the piggy banks. And, you're kind of, one thing that I've always kind of admired about the piggy bank, it's kind of, aimed at kids a little bit, but it kind of teaches kids to start saving early. Is that something that you guys kind of put into this? Absolutely, yeah. It's kind of a good metaphor, right? Like you said, of saving early. Yeah, not, adults don't typically have piggy banks, right, but you do have an emergency savings account. You have your 401k. You have that rainy day fund type stuff. So it is, like I said, a metaphor to keep putting some money away, because we all know that life happens, stuff comes up, and it's good to have some extra cash there for those types of things. Yes, definitely, absolutely. Well, certainly some awesome stuff that you guys are doing over there at Klaas Financial. Thank you so much for coming on to the show here, Kyle. Absolutely, thanks for having us. Absolutely, and if you're looking for a bit of help with your finances, you can head to Klaas Financial at 4704 Perry Ridge Lane in Loves Park, or you can give them a call or visit their website at klaasfinancial.com. And coming up next, as the weather gets warmer, it's important to know how to keep your lawn looking its best. WIFR's Aaron Wilson talks to a local landscaping company when we come back.
From the future, from the hard-hitting action of your Rockford Ice Hawks.
Shot on net, Slaggert scores! It down to the goal line, draped it across, they score! It's Joey Anderson with a hat trick!
Local baseball action with your Beloit Sky Car.
He's at the wall, and that ball is gone!
To watching the best high school teams across Illinois battle in IHSA football and basketball championships. Exciting college basketball from the MVC. To the now of the Chicago Blackhawks.
Score! Here's Bernard with a shot. Scores! What a goal!
The Chicago Bulls.
Drives it. Dunk it! Dunk it, Kobe White! Get up or get out the way!
And the Chicago White Sox. The hottest sports action can be seen on the channels of WSLN, the State Line's home for sports.
Spring in the state line means severe weather season is here.
A powerhouse storm system.
But you're safe because you watched First Alert Weather, and you get the first alert with forecast for where you live. WIFR First Alert Weather, putting you first.
At Gray Digital Media, we craft engaging campaigns that grab attention and get results. Extending your message across all platforms. Gray Digital Media. We know local. GDMRockford.com.
At WIFR, local news is all about you. News in your neighborhood. Your first alerts to severe weather. Hometown sports. You're informed from people you trust, right here in your community, and not somewhere else. A team that's invested in your hometown as much as you are. Wherever and however you're watching, WIFR, your community, your news.
Welcome back to the Morning Blend Extra. Whether you're planning a major landscaping project or you just want to keep your lawn tidy, now is the time to get started. WIFR's Aaron Wilson talked with Garden City Lawn Care to learn more about spring cleaning.
Well, this is Trevor Abernethy, and he is with Garden City Lawn Service. Hello, sir. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Hey, you know, I've seen a lot of sticks come down here during these early spring months. A lot of cleanup that needs to be done on the lawns. Let's first talk about you, your business. How long have you been in business?
This will be our 8th year.
8th year.
Yep.
And out of the Roscoe area?
Yep, out of Roscoe.
Born and raised in the community?
Yep, born and raised here.
Perfect, perfect. So let's get into the cleanup. What does a cleanup entail when the folks get out there and they get going on those yards and landscapes?
So a basic spring cleanup, I would say we blow out all the beds, get all the debris out from your beds around the house, clean up your mulch beds if you have mulch, rock beds, clean those out, just gather up all the debris, leaves, sticks, and haul it out.
A lot of the older folks I have as friends kind of worry about those eaves troughs, that type of thing. Is that a service that you offer as well?
Yes, you can add on quite a few different things to the spring cleanup. We offer dryer vent cleaning.
Wow.
Gutter cleaning. We can do coration, overseeding. Quite a few different things that we offer that you can add on.
And, you know, as we stand under a tree here, I'm seeing a few dead branches in here, a little trimming that could be done. You take care of that as well?
Yep, we can trim up your trees. The bushes and hedges we can also add on to the cleanup. Typically we wait a little bit into the spring longer so they can get some growth on there before we start trimming stuff.
And I guess that begs the question for me, when do you do the spring cleanup? Now, or do you wait, go into summer, or does it really matter?
It kind of doesn't matter. I mean, we start early spring. We get out as soon as we're not out doing snow anymore.
Okay.
We're out doing spring cleanups, and we can technically do spring cleanup way into the summer. We just maybe drop the spring off. It's a cleanup job.
So to get that cleanup job on paper, they give you a call, they go to your website, very easy to do. You come out, and what happens from that point on? You're going to get a quote together? Or?
Yeah, you can give us your service address, and we can get a quote together for you. We can send somebody out to look at the property, get your estimate up and together and send it over to you. Or if it's more in depth, there's a lot more stuff going on that you want done, we can send somebody out and you get an in-person consultation.
Any cost involved with that?
Not at all.
Excellent. And good to have those consultations taken care of. I'm just thinking the peace of mind. I mean, again, the winds have battered us so much the last several weeks. There is a lot of cleanup that needs to be done, and sometimes it's a daunting task for folks. And you get the opportunity with your team to take care of that for them. That's got to be a good feeling for you.
Yeah, definitely. We definitely feel like we can help people out, make their lives a little easier.
And when you see and talk to them firsthand, what do they say back to you after the job is done? They've got to walk out that front door and be like, wow, you did an impressive job here in my yard.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, that's what we aim for. When we're done, we want to really leave an impression that blows people away.
Sometimes customers for a lifetime, right? And outside of the spring cleanup, you've got some other services you offer as well, correct?
Oh yeah, yep.
What would be involved in some of those other services? What do you do day in and day out here as we do make our way finally into the summer months?
We offer landscaping. We also offer weekly mowing. So we can do that for you on a weekly basis. Just give us a call. We can give you a price. But yeah, we do all softscape. Pretty much, we do all landscaping except for the real crazy, extravagant hardscape stuff like waterfalls and stuff like that. We don't do that. Everything else we do, mulch, rock jobs, everything.
So again, getting back like into those flower beds, that type of thing, you can really spruce that up and get that looking sharp.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Excellent. And good idea too to get on that list to have your lawn mowed regularly, correct? I mean, you'll get that all squared away, taken care of. Maybe get those lines in there so you can have a little competition with the neighbors.
Oh yeah, we take pride in our lines actually. So if you talk to the guys, I mean, when I bring them in, I'm a stickler about that. I really, I want those lines popping. And definitely go in different directions for the health of the lawn as well.
And having a chance to meet some of your crew members today, they are impressive, and you got to be proud of them.
Oh yeah, I mean they're like family. So, also you come work for us. We try to bring in a culture with that, that we are family, and we try to make sure everybody's taken care of.
Well, here we are again. It is home show week, and you want to get your lawn cleaned up and ready to go for no doubt summer that will be just around the corner. Trevor, the guy to call, they'll get out there, they'll get you the estimates, get you all taken care of. Great to meet you today.
Nice meeting you.
And I love hearing the sounds all around us. It is the sound of progress into spring and summer, correct?
We're on our way.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Well, spring is definitely upon us, and Garden City Lawn Care is based out of Roscoe and serves the surrounding area. To get a free quote, you can call the number on screen, or you can visit GardenCityLawnCareLLC.com. Coming up after the break, Ben Affleck returns for a sequel to a 2016 action flick, which is now in theaters. Next.
From the future. From the hard-hitting action of your Rockford Ice Hawks.
Shot on it. Slaggert scores! It down to the goal line, draped it across, they score! It's Joey Anderson with a hat trick!
Local baseball action with your Beloit Sky Car.
He's at the wall, and that ball is gone!
To watching the best high school teams across Illinois battle in IHSA football and basketball championships. Exciting college basketball from the MVC. To the now of the Chicago Blackhawks.
Score! Here's Bernard with a shot. Scores! What a goal!
The Chicago Bulls.
Drives it all the way! Dunk it, Kobe White! Get up or get out the way!
And the Chicago White Sox. The hottest sports action can be seen on the channels of WSLN, the State Line's home for sports.
Welcome back to the Morning Blend Extra. An action sequel nearly a decade in the making arrives in theaters this weekend. David Daniel talked with the director and stars of The Accountant 2.
Do you like puzzles, Mr. Wolf? Ray King has been murdered. I need your help to finish the job he started.
Ben Affleck is back as the brilliant, neurodivergent, and very dangerous CPA in The Accountant 2.
Most brains seek a pattern that's familiar. My brain doesn't work that way.
This is it, huh? Living on a lunchbox.
It's quite comfortable.
John Bernthal returns as his equally lethal brother, a role significantly expanded from the first film.
I spent years looking for you. Do you not miss me because of me, or is it your condition?
This was my highest ambition, was to really get to work with John, explore this relationship, and it exceeded all my expectations.
For me, the exact same. The chance to come back and really get to peek behind the curtain, see, I mean, for lack of a better term, how messed up he is.
Let me do the talking. He's in more than I thought.
Cynthia Dye Robinson and newcomer Daniela Pineda also get in on the action.
It was a reach for me personally, because I think as a human being, I'm like the person that's like walking with the tray with all the cocktail glasses. I'm like, that's me in real life.
Even in the action stuff, my GPS is always on the emotional line between the brothers, right?
That's my big brother up there!
That was some dancing. Here in cowboy country, we don't mess with another man's girl.
You're from Glendale, Gerald.
It's okay. My brother wasn't having a good time tonight, but now he will.
Anything in this world better than punching somebody in the face who's got it coming?
No. Shut the front door. You!
Hey!
In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
That's definitely going to look like a pretty good one, although I'm kind of interested in seeing Revenge of the Sith for the 20th anniversary, re-released in theaters. That's going to wrap up the Morning Blend Extra for today. Thanks so much for watching.